This is Rob Liefeld. Kai Review is going down.
Hey guys, just finished watching Swamp Thing, Season 1, Episode 7, Brilliant Disguise. Wow, what an amazing episode. It has a 9.1 here on IMDb, and that's pretty much what I give this episode. I mean, it's really such a good season, even with some of the production problems so far. I can only count like 3 things that are like majorly obvious. Things that kind of take you a little bit out of the show, but only because I know that the production problems. If you didn't know about any of the production problems and you just saw this on Netflix or somewhere wherever else later on, you're just kind of watching it as a whole, streaming it and stuff, and binging it, you might not notice it. Some of the little things you might notice because they're just kind of really. They're glaringly obvious. There's a little one here that I'm like not sure if it was like a problem that and this thing that they kind of had to let slip, or if there was kind of the lighting was kind of part of it. But so far 7 episodes and only 3 different scenes, which are noticeably kind of like part of the production problems, but pretty good ratio so far. So we start off this episode, we see that continuing the story from last episode with Abby hallucinating Swamp Thing as Alec. That was really cool, spending this whole episode like that. I mean, it almost seems like it was part of the part, like it helps the budget type thing, but at the same time, it almost seems like they were saving their budget for the end episode. And if this whole season is supposed to have cost like $80 million, I'm really excited to see as to where things are. But I'd love to see, and I think it'd be cool to see if they could release the script for the original 13 episodes. I think they would even be cool if they did those the extra episodes. We're going to get episode 13, but give us the original ending in like a comic book form. I think that would be a really cool thing to get out. So we see then we see that Alec doesn't want Abby going near the rot and stuff. That's kind of interesting there. We see that Lucilia, the sheriff, tells Avery that Alec Holland is alive, and then they go out to kill him. And then we see Alec and Abby. They're in these kind of like this. I guess they're going towards the rot. They're in this flower field pasture. A lot of flowers everywhere and stuff. And the lighting there looks a little weird. I'm not entirely sure if it's like, if it's supposed to be a darker scene. They're supposed to kind of put a filter over it to darken it up. The last scene in a few episodes ago where it was obvious that they were supposed to kind of darken it in post and they didn't do it. The characters were walking around in flashlights, and the scene there took place. It was obvious it took place at night, whereas here it's maybe a midday scene, so it's unclear if it was supposed to be a bit darker of a scene type thing. But it still worked out. So I think that one's kind of barely noticeable if you didn't know. You probably wouldn't notice if you didn't know about the production problems. We see that Abby takes a sample of the rod and then she gets attacked by it. So that was really cool, seeing her getting attacked and Swamp Thing having to kind of, and as she's slowly no longer hallucinating him as Alex, he's kind of saving her from the rot and stuff and battling inside the battle that's going on inside of her. That was really cool with that. Although when she was, he gave her the Chinese plant stuff, and there's a battle going on inside of her. I don't know why he didn't just grab her more handfuls of that stuff and just keep feeding her that until it overcomes or whatever. At least they could have just had a line that just said, and this is not part of the production problem, this is part of the writing, which, they would have written way before any of this, had the whole season written out before they started production of any episodes. I would have just had a line with them saying, like, they can't give you too much because, it could also kill you, just a quick line just explaining us this Chinese dragon fruit thing. So I think that's kind of, would have been cool to see that as to why she didn't just keep ingesting more, We see that Matt, we found out that Matt is Avery's son, which is kind of predictable and stuff. I predicted it in this episode. I didn't predict it overall in this whole show, but in this episode it was kind of like predictable that was going to be happening. But the way it happened and the point of the review was kind of a really good one. So we see that Abby's hallucinations wears off and stuff, so that's kind of cool, dealing with that. I kind of was hoping that they kind of maybe hook up and stuff because he looks like Alec Holland, and then mid hook up they would kind of, maybe mid of them making out, he kind of turns back into Swamp Thing and she doesn't care type thing. I think that could have been an interesting story, but with this being episode 7 of originally 13, I feel like that they're going to plan to save that for later on, where she ends up hooking up. It was in one of the trailers, but probably got cut out, who knows. where they looks like they do hook up type thing. So I think that could be fun to see as to where things go with that. We see that Carolina Woodrow is starting to forget things, starting to lose her memory faster and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. That'll probably push Jason Woodrow to kind of, being more risky with his experiments and stuff. So that'd be cool to see as to where things go with that. We find out that Maria, Avery was, was being. Avery ends up getting killed by Lucille and Matt and stuff, and we find out that Maria, his wife, was actually part of the plot to try and kill him. That was kind of cool. That was revealed. I didn't see that one coming. We see that Swamp Thing at the end pushes Abby away so that he can join the fight of the Grain versus the Rot, and then she leaves to go back to LA to the CDC headquarters, and then we end the episode with Avery being alive. And obviously the end reveal of Avery being alive obviously predicted that, especially when he was getting killed. It's like, oh my god, is he going to be the Rot's version of the Swamp Thing? His evil, and the Rot is just going to work so well. It'll be like Sinestro and the Green and the Yellow Lantern Ring. It'll be kind of a perfect match, right? And I think that's going to be quite interesting to see as to where things go with that. Do they end up giving him a full-on costume or something so we can get Swamp Thing versus Swamp Thing? I mean, I kind of get tired of all these superhero things, putting the superhero and the villain being like exact copies, the villain being the exact copies of the superhero, like Iron Man. We had Ironmonger, Ant-Man, we had Yellow Jacket, and things like that. We have complete opposite. Hulk, we had Abomination, we've had a lot of copycats, Superman, Zod, But here, these are so different characters. This one is kind of different, and he stands out. Swamp Thing stands out above everyone. He's so unlike this. I'm really excited to see different versions of him. Maybe not an exact copy of Swamp Thing, but maybe a Rot's version of it with different powers. Could be something quite fun to play with. So all in all, I'm really excited to see as to where things go with this, and I'm really happy with this season, even with the production problems. I think it still stands out, and like I said, only 3 scenes that I can think of that are that really kind of take you out of the episode. And even then, I don't think they ruined, not this episode, but I don't think they ruined the show at all. Especially if you didn't know about the production problems. So I think that's kind of cool for this show. It definitely is a great show. I can't wait to see as to where things go with this. So I'm excited to see as to where things go in the future. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. What do you think about the potential? I think sounds like there's a rumors of a Swamp Thing movie. I think that could be fun. I much prefer season 2 of this instead of a movie. But if they get the same, if they can't justify the budget for that show, but they can justify the same budget for a movie, okay. But I need the exact same crew, every cast member, every person, everyone involved doing the movie. You get James Wan to direct, since he's so heavily involved in this, or whoever directed the most episodes in this show, get them to direct a full-on movie. Actually, everyone who directed an episode, get them all to direct together one movie, and you make it a 3-hour-long movie, or maybe an hour-long movie, whatever. I think it could be really cool to see as to where things go. I just don't know, this long-form storytelling seems to work so well for this show. I don't know how it would work in a movie. But if they got the same crew, everyone involved to do a movie, I would be interested. So let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
We're here for Kyle Reviewed on YouTube, the very best Kyle Reviewed channel on all the YouTube Kyle Reviewed channels. You got that? You got that right? Thank you for watching Kyle Reviewed. Deadpool and I thought it was fantastic. You need to like, you need to subscribe. You know how it's done. Like, subscribe. Right, DP? All right, Kyle Reviewed. Cool channel.
Swamp Thing. You are